Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. First World of Tanks video of 2015, hooray! And also, new intro. Actually, a couple of new intros. You may have noticed the last World of Tanks video that I put up also had a new intro. And, well, the thing is, every time I redesign the intros, or get somebody else to redesign the intros for these World of Tanks videos, there's always somebody complaining that they don't like the new one, and they wish I would go back to the old one. So what I've done this time is I have a whole bunch of new World of Tanks intros, and I'll be rotating them around among the videos that I put up. Of course, all that means is that I'm just going to upset everybody because that's just how the internet works, but what the hell. But anyway, first game of 2015, and it's the BDR, the Tier 5 French heavy tank, which I think I've only ever featured one replay of this tank in the 3 years now I've been doing these videos on YouTube. And I'm not sure why. Well, I know why. It's because I don't like the tank. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's a Tier 5 French heavy tank. It's got a very, very good gun. It's a Tier 5 tank that gets a 90mm gun. But if I'm being completely honest here, I think the reason I know the reason that I don't really like the BDR much is because it looks like a clown tank. It's a comical looking machine. I find it impossible to take it seriously. And, I realise that's a pretty bold thing to say, coming from somebody who loves the TOG too, but that's just the way I feel about the BDR. I see this thing driving into battle, and I keep expecting the sides to fall off and clowns to fall out and start running around the tank, chasing each other with buckets of confetti. It's just... I mean, look at it. It's all... It's a clown tank, it is. Well, McBain Forever, who's driving it in this replay, doesn't seem to think so, and he comes out of this game with a 20,000 WN8 rating. So anyway, the Wolverine and the Stuart that have rushed up ahead of him have both been taken out. The Wolverine by the T14 and the Stuart by what looks like a derp, there he is, derp T82. There are some random glitches with the camera in this replay, by the way. It seems to be something that's happening in patch 9.5, and there it goes again. Nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. Not quite sure who the T14 and the T28 are shooting at. What's the T14? There he goes again. What's he doing? I don't know. But it's entirely possible that that T14 driver has been playing World of Tanks for the sum total of about 4 hours. His highest vehicle is a Tier 3, and he's just bought himself a T14 because he wanted a heavy tank. Speaking of heavy tanks, Churchill. Churchill's got a good 75mm gun, but none of these guys want to come around and take hits from that 90mm. And because those guys are all scared of his 90mm gun, McBain is actually in a very, very strong position because he's able to come out and take the shots whenever he's ready. And he's just killed the T28, waits to reload, nobody wants to rush him, and there aren't enough of them left now to do it, and he's killed the Churchill, and now that Grant is not feeling very brave at all. The T14 behind him on a sliver of health. And I think that Grant's had enough. As a quick look around him, his team have lost 9 tanks now, by the way. Don't worry, they're going to lose more than that. And there goes the T14, and the Grant has decided, screw you guys, I'm going home. He's running away, which is a very, very sensible decision. McBain seeing if he can snap a shot at him as he ducks around the corner, but he can't do it. Okay, well, he's basically single-handedly held off 5 or 6 enemy tanks in the centre of the map. Of course, there's only him and 2 other of his team left at this stage. 9 enemy tanks to deal with, and the most immediate threat was a Stuart and a Matilda, and oop, there goes that camera bug again, who were coming around this flank and killed the M4 Sherman that was behind him. There goes the Stuart. That's an easy one shot. But there was also a Matilda here. Now the Matilda's got decent armour, but this guy does not have a lot of health left, and the gun on the Matilda does not do enough damage to trade shots with a practical full health BDR. So, threat to the flank neutralised. He now knows there's no enemy tanks behind him, unless that Grant has run all the way around and has come around to try to link up with the Matilda and the Stuart, then there is nobody behind him. There's the Su-85. Now this is a crucial shot, and it's not fully aimed, but he has to take the snapshot. Otherwise the Su-85 was going to pull back into cover, the building would have been in the way, and he would have had no chance of hitting him. He took the snapshot, it missed. T-34. T-34 is a very decent Tier 5 medium tank. The Zis 57mm gun on that tank is very, very good indeed, but it just can't trade alpha damage with a tank like the BDR with its 90mm gun. So he decides to go after the T-34. It's the closest threat, he knows he's right there, and he does need to kill him. And there he is, and his gun's pointing the wrong way, and the T-34, oh, look at the damage this 90mm does. He gets one shot into him, he starts scrambling back into cover. Now, backing off like this is going to force McBain to come out into the line of fire of that Su-85, and the T-34 managed to blow his tracks off and immobilise him, and there goes, that is definitely the Su-85, and he has not given his position away while firing, and the second shot goes in and does a metric butt-ton of damage. McBain takes a shot at the Su-85's presumed position, but he's not going to pop out again. Stewart is spotting him. If the Stewart had any sense, he would continue to spot him for the Su-85, but of course it's a low-tier game, and he drives right out in front of that 90mm gun again. Now, while McBain Forever is just slaughtering this Covenanter, and the Covenanter has no chance against him. The Covenanter, again, like the M3 Stewart there, the Covenanter's best chance is to just light him up for the Su-85. And he's trying to disengage. No, he's not. He's coming back up for more. Oh, well, fair enough. Oh, the Grant's just popped out. McBain, of course, is spotted, and that Su-85 is up on the hill behind him, and he will be angling for a shot. Can't sit around here in the open with an unspotted Su-85 who's just bounced a shot off the back of his tank. He's got to go around and chase down this Grant. However, there's also a Cruiser 3 in this game, and he has the howitzer. And look at the damage that that Tier 3 light tank just did to a Tier 5 heavy. That tank is absolutely incredible. Well, he's killed the Grant, but that Cruiser 3 is an absolutely amazing little Tier 3 light tank. Just look at the damage he did to McBain's tank here. McBain's got a Cruiser in front of him and an Su-85 behind him. Well, he beat the Cruiser to the punch. He gets this tank forward. He does not want to hang around here with an unspotted Su-85 behind him. But now there's nobody spotting him, and it's just him against the Su-85. Now, the Su-85 is a very, very stealthy machine, but it has terrible view range. So if the Su-85 abandons his position in the hills up there and comes looking for McBain, McBain has the advantage. On the other hand, if McBain has to go looking for the Su-85, the Su-85 is guaranteed to get the first shot off. But if they both run into each other at the same time, it's all just a question of who gets the luckiest roll of the dice. And that is McBain Forever in the BDR, earning himself a Kolobanov's medal, a Top Gun, a Pools medal, and a high caliber. And sadly, because he was playing solo, no crucial contribution medal, but still, I think he was probably reasonably happy with the clutch of medals and the 20,000 WN8 rating that he managed to walk away from that match with. So that was McBain Forever in the BDR. And this is Forged Valkyrie in the ELC AMX. It's a Tier 6 match, and it's Prokhorovka. And he's in an ELC. This is the kind of map and matchmaking that ELC AMX drivers have wet dreams about. This tank is quick, and it's a tiny target. It's incredibly low profile. The thing only weighs around 7 tons. But while it's fast, it does not turn very well, so it really, really does need space to maneuver. And Prokhorovka ticks all of those boxes. Disappointingly, his initial mid-ridge scouting run only lit up an A43. And well, this is the risk that you run when you do light up a target early on in the game. Have a look at the map. Look at his team. Look at them all. Look at where all the Tier 6 heavies are. They're still in the gap circle. They're all turning their guns around to take shots at this A. And the A43 is no fool. He knows that he runs just as big a chance of getting shot at by lighting up this ridgeline as the ELC does. So he's not going to give them shots at him, but they're all sitting there waiting for him to pop up again, rather than, you know, moving their bloody tanks. This is the risk that you run when you do a good scouting job early on in a game, rather than just suicide scouting across the field in Malinovka. You rush forward, you light up a target, and you keep it lit up, and your entire team just grinds to a halt. And you see it when people suicide scout in Malinovka as well. Suddenly nobody wants to leave the cap circle. They all turn their guns around just to fire fruitlessly at whatever it was that you glimpsed on the other side of the map. And that's what they're all doing down there. And look at them, they're still sitting in the bloody cap circle. It's typical. Forge Valkyrie's having a great time here, just running riot across the middle of the map, lighting up targets everywhere. But every time he illuminates a fresh enemy tank, his entire team just lurches to a halt. So it's actually being quite counterproductive. At least some of them are moving, but ooh, that was lucky. He very, very nearly destroyed his own tracks going airborne there. But he's back in the mid-ridge. Well, he's getting a little pissed off with his tier 6 heavies at this point, so he's heading back down to give them a piece of his mind and trying to get them moving. And, well, the ARL has finally, there's nothing left to shoot at, so he has had to start moving forward. The T150 is a little bit slower to react, but congratulations, the T150 has finally left the cap circle as well. Hooray. We do actually have people playing in heavy tanks in this match. But, the team aren't doing too badly. They've lost one tank, but they've managed to kill 3 enemy tanks, largely thanks to Forge Valkyrie's scouting. So it's difficult to grumble too much. Oh, no, they've just lost another one. Oh, perhaps I spoke too soon. And any second now. Oh, now they've lost 4 tanks. Hooray. Fantastic. Okay, well, scouting's all well and good, but I think Forge Valkyrie is going to have to take a slightly more hands-on approach to determining the outcome of this battle. And look at him go. He's going for the artillery. And watch this. There's one of them. Is he paying any attention? Is he even looking at his map, or is he just firing at targets in top-down? He is, isn't he? He's just firing at targets in top-down view. He has no idea there's an ELC parked behind him. There's one. Now, what do you suppose the chances are that's going to happen again? Hands up everybody who thinks the other artillery driver is also ensconced in his little top-down view world, completely unaware of the fact that there's an ELC about to engage in a spot of rough handling from behind, although technically rough handling from the side. And the answer to that one, of course, would be yes, Jingles, he is. So, good start. Scores, however, don't know. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to drive in big, big circles around the cap circle, and we'll just see who on the enemy team, if anybody, is paying attention. Is it just the artillery drivers who have absolutely no idea that there's a map in the bottom right corner of their screen? Or is the rest of the enemy team just as bad? Is anybody going to come back? Anybody at all? Oh, there we go. Somebody is actually paying attention. And that was quite a big hit. That was a very, very big hit. It's the Hellcat. Okay, so the Hellcat's lit him up. He can't afford to sit here capping anymore. Oh, and it's not just the Hellcat. Okay, right. He's going to have to be careful here. He's potentially a one-shot kill. The Hellcat can definitely take him out with one shot. Now, there is not an awful lot of cover here, but you don't need an awful lot of cover when you're driving an ELC AMX. You can take advantage of that low ridgeline to be pretty much safe from anything other than that Hellcat. Come on, Mr. Hellcat, give me your best shot. Wow, your best shot wasn't very good. Here's my best shot. How do you like them apples? That Hellcat's probably thinking, what the hell? So he's coming around again. Now, I suspect this Hellcat, as well as being very, very unhappy, also had a dead loader or a damaged ammo rack. And the Wolverine, hidden in the woods on the other side of the road, fires and misses, which is always nice. And oh look, there's a big stupid Russian tier 6 heavy tank on very, very low health. We're going to have some of that. Over the railway line. There he is. His gun's pointing the wrong way. We're just going to go through the building. Probably didn't intend to go through the building, but the building was there. And sneaks the kill in just before his own artillery fires. And, well, it looked like he missed anyway. So he's still on the move. He's still going for it. And he seems to have seriously rustled the jimmies of that KV-85 on the hill because he's desperately trying to kill him. And that is the closest that he comes. The next shot doesn't even land in the same postcode. Any second now. Bang. There you go. That's just what it's like trying to shoot one of these little buggers when they're going at full speed. So the KV-85's on the hill. That means the AT2. Well, we already know the Wolverine is in the woods over there somewhere. So the AT2 has got to be down this road as well. There he is. Looks like the Fireflies just lit him up. Okay. It's om nom nom time on the AT2. Oh, and there's the Wolverine. Okay. Screw it. Going for the Wolverine. Dips into the low ground. Did the Wolverine spot him? Did he spot him? Difficult to say. Oh, doesn't matter. He's killed him anyway. Oh, AT2 Look who's behind you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got a Firefly in front of you. You got an ELC behind you. Well, your problems are over. It's just this tank. This tank is just. You know, when I first got the ELC, I hated it. I thought, oh, this is rubbish. It's got no armor and it doesn't even have a turret. Yeah, I was totally missing the point. This tank is amazing. Well, it is a fantastic tank, but it's a fantastic tank on the right map. And Prokhorovka is definitely the right map for this machine. Lots and lots of open space to move, and he hasn't stopped moving the entire game. Of course, you are driving a tank that does not have a lot of health, and does not have a lot of armor. And sometimes, well, the enemy team doesn't need to get lucky too often, and there it is. Only takes a couple of hits to put these little buggers out of their misery. But trying to land those hits, well, you saw the problems the enemy team had trying to hit him in this game, because he just didn't stop moving. And on a map like Prokhorovka, that's exactly what you can and should be doing in the ELC AMX. And it is so much fun to watch when you see one of these tanks playing a game like this. So that's Forged Valkyrie with a highly entertaining ace tanker, Top Gun and Scout in the ELC AMX in a tier 6 match on Prokhorovka. And you know, I do worry sometimes that whenever I put one of these ELC AMX videos up, a couple of 100,000 people will go, oh my god, this tank's amazing, I must get it. And then they rush and they grind out the French light tank line. They get themselves an ELC AMX. They rush into battle and they just get slaughtered. Trying to repeat the kind of things that you see in these videos. You have to understand that not every game in the ELC is like this. A lot of them are, well, you know, you just die. But it's worth it. It's so worth it for the games that are like this. This tank, in the right map, with the right matchmaking, is just absolutely ridiculously fun to drive, as Forged Valkyrie has just demonstrated for us on Prokhorovka. Take care, folks, and I'll catch you next time.